for you. I am Roy Wood Jr. In the news this week, audiences are terrified by The Monkey, a horror movie about a cursed wind-up toy. Teen breaks it to dad that he probably hasn't been texting with the real Margot Robbie.
They got your data, dumbass.
MTV finds exhibits replacement for the reboot of Pimp My Ride. On Amber's team tonight, she's a comedian who's open for Hassan Minhaj, Maria Bamford, and Dave Chappelle. So we all gonna be chain smoking by the end of this show. It's Joyelle Nicole Johnson. And joining Michael, he's the Republican representative for New York's 17th Congressional District and is currently locked in a tight race for whitest Michael on that side of the desk. It's Mike Lawler. Right. Got it together. White men versus black women. This is gonna be good. Let's do it. That's right. It's kind of what the last election was. White men versus black women and a black man in the middle to decide who wins. Amber and Joyelle, I'm going to show you all a clip package referencing some news stories from last week. You watch the clips and you tell me what's the story. Take a look.
Oh,
Donald Trump.
I don't like him.
Oh, Black Power. It was a Donald Trump book signing.
Oh, Russia, Ukraine.
Oh, gosh.
Saudi Arabia?
Donald Trump is embarrassing us all around the world.
Yes.
Yes. And that has been the story since Trump was born.
The story is President Trump schooling the world on the art of the deal, or as he so eloquently puts it,
you have to get people in, grab them, hug them, kiss them, and get the deal done.
Kiss him.
Yes, the non-consensual groping, that's what makes the deal art. President Trump's first order of business was ending the Russia-Ukraine war. Before peace talks officially began, what did our deal maker in chief demand from Ukraine?
Half of all of their natural resources, right?
In exchange for American support, Trump demanded a 50% share of Ukraine's revenue from critical minerals, oils, gas, their ports, and infrastructure. Peace talks kicked off in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia, AKA the Switzerland of the Middle East. Who was invited to the table?
Russia.
And more importantly, who was not invited?
Not Ukraine.
This is like, say it's your birthday.
Yeah.
We want to surprise you.
Yes.
We all get together at your apartment. We do not invite you.
And then on top of it, surprise, we took half your shit.
Donald Trump lives by one song. It was a Beach Boys hit back in the day. Aruba, Jamaica, Panama, I'm gonna take ya. Bermuda, Bahama, Greenland, come home to your mama. Key Largo, Toronto, Trudeau, why don't we go? Off the Mediterranean Sea, there's a place called Gaza Lago. That's where we've gotta go to get some USAID.
Did you write that?
I did.
You did.
I'm supposed to prepare a song because, honey.
We can freestyle
we
a
can
song
do it.
right here.
You've been a big supporter of Ukraine.
I have.
So when Trump blamed Russia for attacking Ukraine, surely you spoke out on the floor of Congress.
I actually did speak out in support of Ukraine. Look, this conflict needs to come to an end. I think we can all agree on that. And Ukraine should have been at the negotiating table and should be as we move forward. But that ultimately, there's going to have to be a negotiated settlement.
To be fair, let's check in with the Russian media to see what they're saying about Trump and Putin.
Это хороший день для нашей политики, для нашего руководства, для нашей дипломатии и для нашей страны, да.
Russian deal or no deal is some crazy shit. It looked like you die if you guess the wrong money case. Goodness gracious. Trump has fudged many details about the war in Ukraine, but his biggest whopper might have been the false claim that Ukraine started the war with Russia. Of course, the Republicans, they are the party of Reagan, and they've been famously anti-Russia for decades and decades. So selling out the West to Putin must have bothered some Republicans. Mike, you're an elected Republican. Do you have any thoughts?
As far as I'm concerned, Vladimir Putin needs to be beat back in and out of Ukraine. There has to be a negotiated settlement here, which is why it's so critical to get Zelensky to the table with Putin.
Okay, so we know how Mike feels as a Republican on this matter. Let's see how some of his colleagues feel.
He makes Jeffrey Dahmer look like Mother Teresa.
That's too much of a spread. You gotta have somebody in the middle. You can't go to Dahmer to Mother Teresa. You can say make O.J. Simpson look like Mother Teresa. Like this. There's other analogies to do. Why Mother Teresa catching strays? So now we know what they're saying, but what are they gonna do about it, Mike Lawler?
This conflict occurred under Joe Biden.
Oh, so it's Biden's fault.
It is.
Oh,
If you-
okay. Oh, snap.
It is.
Oh, snap. That's right. Oh,
Is your position now that we should give Ukraine all the weapons and they should be used as far into Russia as possible?
My position early on was that.
But no, I'm saying now, though.
My position early on was
I know, but
that
now, do you
they
think we
have
should?
been
I know,
able-
but now, do you feel like we should give them all the weapons and let them just strike as far into Russia as they want? Because it seems to be what you're advocating that Biden should have done.
No, they should have been.
Right, but now.
Earlier on, they should have been allowed.
Yeah, but now, what should they do?
No, in the current environment, they're in a very weakened position.
Are they on the same team?
Apparently not.
Why is Europe so concerned?
Trump and his administration are giving every indication that they're going to abandon Europe and abandon our commitments to NATO. How do you feel about that?
No, I don't think they're abandoning our commitment to NATO.
They've said they're going
I
to.
think the objective, respectfully, the objective is obviously to have NATO allies pick up more of the slack.
Oh, they gotta kick in. Okay.
The art of the deal.
We just call it, yeah, kick in.
You got to put 5 on it.
You could have just said kick in. I'm teaching you how to talk shorter, like a Congress. Next time somebody asks you this question on the Hill, you just go to the motherfuckers and kick in.
They gotta kick in. I got it.
I'm not saying I agree with you. I'm just giving you the short way to, get to the
Got
shit.
it. Kick in.
We'll work on pronunciation later. But that was good. That was good. Europe is on edge because sources close to the Kremlin reported that Trump has given Putin carte blanche to attack London, Paris, or Brussels. But don't panic. It's not like they literally said that.
Мы действительно можем вмочить и по Брюсселю, и по Лондону.
Мне нравится ход
и по
ваших.
Парижу.
Emily, girl, you need to leave Paris right now. Get your bucket hat and get the hell out of there. Team White, assuming you're still a team.
We are. We're still a team.
Watch the clips and tell me what's the story.
That's a flag. I don't know of what. Taking a sledgehammer or some shit. Oh, somebody got fired. Oh, bird flu and a nuclear bomb. Yeah. And we're erasing people. And then this guy's got rehired.
Yeah.
So this is obviously all the federal workers that have been cut, by Elon Musk and his team of incels and.
Amid massive cuts across a wide range of agencies last week, Elon fired 350 employees from the NNSA. Do we know what the NNSA stands for?
Not now, stupid ass.
The NNSA is the National Nuclear Security Administration, the organization in charge of safeguarding our nuclear stockpile. So, the administration made major sudden cuts to the nuclear weapons infrastructure. Question to you all, how did it go?
Not well.
NBC News has obtained an email sent to employees of the National Nuclear Security Administration. It says in part the termination letters for some NNSA probationary employees are being rescinded, adding that officials do not have a good way to get in touch with those personnel.
Thankfully, we have people in charge. They've given a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. Here's Stephen Miller with the answer.
Why are you not celebrating the cuts, the reforms that are being instituted? Every day that no action is taken, the entire
Stephen,
salaries of American workers that are taxed disappear forever.
Stephen, let's calm down.
This is
we're not having a debate
there's no reason
about whether there
are
Well, you are
places-
clearly trying to debate me, and I will be as excited as I want to be about the fact that we are saving Americans billions of dollars.
Now, Mike, that's your boy. Are they making the cuts before they check the cuts? Is that how you make the cuts? You just cut and then you double. Oh, I cut too much.
When you're making an omelet, you crack a few eggs.
For real, just on the real.
Turn the cameras off. Everybody turn the cameras off. This is on the real.
Mike Lawler, on the group chat, do y'all just be like, motherfucker, are y'all crazy?
We just dealt with the White House on some of the CDC cuts because it impacted the World Trade Center Health Fund, and we were able to get those reversed immediately because obviously we want to make sure that our 9/11 first responders are protected and they get the services that they need.
I just want to say, I think you're the first guest who's ever been heckled.
I love it.
Clearly.
This audience is lit.
Clearly. I'm a Republican. I'm used to it.
Now, these sweeping and discriminant cuts are also having an effect on America's leisure time. Question, does anyone know which uniquely qualified staffer Elon and the Doge boys fired from Yosemite National Park?
I think it was the locksmith who is the only guy who knows how to unlock the restrooms at Yosemite.
Points.
No.
Under major Doge cuts to the national parks, Yosemite fired the only locksmith on staff, apparently the sole employee with keys and the institutional knowledge needed to rescue visitors from locked restrooms.
I don't want to die on a toilet in Yellowstone Park.
What other inefficiencies has Doge gotten rid of?
Well, I know they cut cancer research, which was,
We would have also accepted Alzheimer's research, the Veterans Crisis Line, cancer researchers, special education, FEMA employees, money for 9/11 survivors, and a little niche organization called the FAA. I ain't never heard of FAA. Are they in charge of anything important? Even though Trump said that Medicare and Medicaid were safe, he's on Truth Social encouraging Congress to pass his tax cuts in, quote, one big beautiful bill. But Mike Johnson's new House budget, which will make that possible, calls for around $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid. So, Mike, we got you here. Which is it? Is Medicaid safe or is Medicaid going down? Trump or Johnson? Who's your daddy?
The budget resolution is what is being discussed, has to pass in order to get to reconciliation. The final bill, the reconciliation bill, will be what is negotiated. And there are many of us, myself included, who will not cut Medicaid benefits to our constituents, period.
So when that bill comes to the floor and there's even $1 in Medicaid cuts, you vote?
Well, we're not cutting Medicaid.
Right. But I'm saying, but when that bill comes to the floor...
It has Medicaid cuts now.
Right. If there are even $1 Medicaid cuts, you're a no.
On benefits. If you are eliminating any type of fraud or waste or abuse, that's fine. But benefits to beneficiaries, no.
You understand that Elon and Trump are claiming waste, fraud, and abuse where there is none. So when the bill comes and there's $1 to cuts in Medicaid, you're a no.
I will not cut Medicaid benefits, no.
Right, so you're a no if there's even $1 in cuts to Medicaid. Very good.
Damn it, he was doing so good.
Well, because you're giving me politician doublespeak, and it's
I'm not giving you doublespeak.
You are, it's bullshit. You're just saying...
way more complicated than you want to make it.
It's not complicated.
Turns out Trump and Elon aren't just cutting costs by slashing programs. They also want to make sure the money we do have is safe. What government building does Trump have his sights set on next?
He said he wants to figure out how much gold is in Fort Knox. Is that true?
Yep.
He's crazy, man. I see why you like him, Les. He's a fun guy. It's fun.
We're going to go into Fort Knox. You know about that?
Well, hopefully they didn't fire the one locksmith that knows how to get it.
See, that was a good joke, but they hating on you because of the other shit.
I know.
And in comedy, that's called a joke deficit. You need like 3 good jokes to get back to 0, and then they'll reward you. So 2 more, and then you'll be back. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time for Like Curious. The rules are simple. I give you 3 biographical details about a public figure, but only one is true. You have to guess which is the truth and which are dirty, filthy lies. Time for 3 facts about Marlon Brando. Our facts are: he left his pet tortoise to Jack Nicholson. He had intercourse on every continent. He was an avid user of Photoshop. Which one is the truth?
Number 2.
I'll start with Team Afro.
I think we want it to be number 2 in our hearts, as does the audience.
Yeah, I want to see him begging on Antarctica.
Where? There's no hotels.
But that's Marlon Brando. He don't need a hotel.
You Marlon Brando?
Have you seen pictures of Antarctica? It's ice.
His lap is the hotel.
Exactly.
Tortoises live a long time. Brando did not. Nicholson, still alive. We think he left that pet tortoise to Jack Nicholson.
Marlon Brando was an avid user of Photoshop. Marlon Brando loved using Photoshop to prank his friends. One friend of Brando said, quote, he would take people's pictures and put them in places they never were. Then he'd say, remember when we were in so-and-so? And you'd see people trying to remember that same situation. Question, does anyone know what other technology Marlon Brando was passionate about?
The Domino's pizza tracker?
Marlon Brando was really into motion capture technology and creating digital actors. He even went so far as to have himself scanned to create a digital avatar. This is an actual scan. Take a look at these.
Jump scare.
It looked like he got ran over by one of them Daffy Duck steamrollers. Time for 3 facts about Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Our facts are, he's a father of 9 children. Okay. He successfully won a lawsuit after a botched vasectomy. He finger paints to unwind.
If he finger paints, Roy, if he finger paints, I'll give you $100.
We're gonna go with number 1. He's got a lot of kids, that guy.
Sean is a father of 9 children.
Get it?
9, as we call it, a baker's octuplet. Which raises the question, can a marriage be too healthy? Secretary Duffy had a message for New Yorkers this week. What was that message?
He sent a letter to Governor Kathy Hochul to cancel congestion pricing, which is nothing more than a scam. Better, right?
He won him back on that $9 congestion. That's like the New York equivalent of give it up for the ladies. Don't you hate congestion pricing? In a letter to Governor Kathy Hochul, Duffy told New York that the DOT was pulling support for the successful congestion pricing plan, saying it targeted working class people and called the toll, quote, backwards and unfair.
I was with President Trump 2 weeks ago in the Oval Office, and I said to him, Mr. President, we have to kill congestion pricing. And he said, it's terrible, Mike, horrible. Call Duffy, tell him, kill it.
Is Trump still going to be your friend after he sees you making fun of him like this?
I think that's a fairly good impersonation.
I thought it was good, too, and that's why I'm concerned, Mike.
How did Trump announce it publicly that he was no longer supporting the plan?
I'm the king of the world.
Points! He declared himself king. Trump posted, quote, congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king.
Trump.
Calm down. He was talking about this guy. This the king he was talking about. I respect Burger King and Gayle King. Them the two kings.
Trump want to be a rapper so bad. He's always saying stuff, and then you can imagine him dropping an imaginary mic afterwards. Like, shut your goofy ass up.
But does the federal DOT actually have any authority to cancel congestion pricing?
Yes.
No.
Yes. The program is a pilot program that was approved by DOT and the Federal Highway Administration, and so they absolutely have the authority to revoke the approval.
I'm still saying no.
Only the state's Tri-Borough Bridge and Tunnel Authority can do that, Congressman.
No.
I'm just saying, Republicans need to be careful about pissing off Kathy Hochul, because you know they're going to kick out y'all mayor that y'all just bought. You like this suit? I got it from Eric Adams. I look mayoral.
Like a little kingpin.
She might pick me. You never know. This has been Like Curious. It's time now for Missing Words.
Yay.
I'm going to give you some recent news headlines with keywords cut out, and you have to fill in the blank and give us the full story. Here's your headline. Peruvian police officer wears blank to make arrest in drug probe.
I'm gonna say Paddington Bear costume.
Full drag.
That's what we hope is true.
A Peruvian police officer wears a capybara costume to make arrest in drug probe. Michael, you're pretty close, yeah. So officers in the Peruvian National Police's Green Squad often dress up in costumes as a way of getting suspected criminals to let their guard down, and as seen in this clip of their latest raid.
En esta ocasión, de esta fecha de San Valentín, Día de los Enamorados, pues hemos buscado mimetizarnos con el personaje de Capibara.
Let me tell you something. If ICE comes to my door and they're wearing the capybara costume, I'm opening the door. Come on in.
Imagine being on drugs and a 6-foot beaver walks in. Like, that's Fortnite. That only happens in Fortnite. Here's your headline. Shoppers left appalled after realizing Trader Joe's sells blank.
People.
Trader Joe's sells sex?
If Trader Joe's sold sex, it'd be organic and overpriced. Wouldn't nobody...
I was going to say, condoms paid for by USAID.
Oh my God, stop reminding us that you're bad. Just take a break from it for a second so we can have a nice time.
Shoplifters left appalled after realizing Trader Joe's sells fertilized chicken eggs that can be hatched.
Oh!
That's right. Do-it-yourself chickens at the Trader Joe's. Even worse, the yogurt-covered pretzels are also fertilized. That's why the employees are so cheery.
Roy!
What?
Roy, did you just make a joke about jizz pretzel?
No. No, I did not.
Amber?
Yes?
I can be as excited about jizz pretzels as I want to be.
Bonus question. Does anyone know how New York City bodegas are handling the price of skyrocketing eggs?
I do. They're selling Lucy's. They're selling loose eggs.
Is that real?
Yes. Would you like a video? Oh, give Amber the video.
It's not loose cigarettes, but loose eggs drawing people to Pamela's Green Deli.
I do it because I care.
Fernando Rodriguez sells a trio for $2.99 at his shop off of Boston Road.
Long live the king! Been president for a month. We selling eggs out the trunk like cocaine. I had to cut down. I'm down to 2 quiche a day. Here's your headline. Blank has its own board game now. I'm gonna give y'all a hint. What major recent historical event has its own board game now?
Can Kendrick Lamar's halftime show?
The January 6th takeover has its own board game now. Players can choose if they play as protesters or the Capitol Police in a game called Fight for America. Yes, it's like Clue, except the answer is they all did it in every room, usually with the American flag. And unlike Monopoly, this game, everybody has a get out of jail free card. So it's a nice question. Which 1989 Milton Bradley game had the slogan, "It's not what you win or lose, it's whether you win"?
Battleship.
Battleship? Oh.
That was the slogan of the Trump game.
I was gonna say.
The Donald Trump board game. Please check this out.
My new game is Trump, the game.
Trump, the game where you deal for everything you've ever wanted to own. Because it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether you win.
Yes!
Play Trump, the game from Milton Bradley.
I think you'll like it.
Can we look at the commercial again and just for a second, just pay attention to the assholes who are playing this game? How much cocaine did they do before they sat down to play this game?
That's Missing Words. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. So have I got news for you? It's time now for the offender meter. Here's how it works. The index of everyone who's made people mad this week. Teams have to tell us who's the offender, what they did, and who they offended. Let us begin. Let's see your offender. Ah, yes, Rosario Dawson. Yes, that is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Who did she offend?
Republicans, Mike.
When you saw that picture, were you offended?
No.
AOC offended Trump border czar Tom Homan by sponsoring a, quote, Know Your Rights webinar in response to the recent immigration raids. Yes. Question, why is it important for everyone to know their rights if they're confronted by ICE?
Isn't it important to know your rights in general?
Because they be pulling up to people's houses like, hey, you look colored, so you probably illegal. So you should know that they can't do that.
Yeah, the answer. It's important for everyone to know their rights because even legal U.S. citizens are being detained by ICE agents. In one New Jersey raid, ICE even detained a U.S. military veteran, which is wild because if you're a veteran and want to be disrespected, you just go to the VA. You shouldn't have to deal with ICE. But Republicans, including Tom Homan, said that AOC reminding citizens of their rights, it's basically telling immigrants how to evade ICE. Here's Tom on the subject.
I'm not an attorney, I'm not a prosecutor. Is that impediment? Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross, so maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now.
Bonus question, is his mouth full of saltwater taffy?
Right.
So we know what Tom Homan said. What do you all think AOC said in response to Tom?
Kiss my brown ass.
AOC posted, quote, maybe he can learn to read. The Constitution would be a good place to start.
Points.
Let's see the next offender.
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow has never offended anyone a day in her life.
Oh.
And I don't think this is gonna come back to bite me in the ass in 1 minute.
Wait. Cheryl offended GOP Senator John Kennedy and Elon stands everywhere after she posted a video of herself selling her Tesla and donating the money to NPR. Here's the clip. Why Andrea Bocelli? Like, why not a Sheryl Crow song, man?
All I wanna do is have some fun.
I do not know a Sheryl Crow song.
Question, what did John Kennedy have to say about Sheryl Crow's video?
Well, I say, why she's selling it? I say.
Points. Here's the senator.
I think that it should not go unnoticed that President Biden got a lot of his advice from pop singers and movie stars and people who partied with Harvey Weinstein. And we know how that turned out.
All across the country, people have been protesting Tesla and selling their cars like Cheryl, but there's one notable exception. Who on this very panel recently posted that they still love their Musk-mobile?
Ooh.
Is it you, Drive from Detroit?
I got a Jeep, so no.
I don't have a car.
I have a Ford.
Okay. Congressman, you got a Tesla?
I do not have a Tesla.
My God.
It's Michael who said, quote, honestly, the worst part about this whole thing is I bought a Tesla years ago, and it's the best car I've ever owned.
You advertised it for other people, you fucking piece of shit! You're a commercial for Tesla! How could you? Michael Ian Black, I am ashamed of you.
You bought it before the Nazi salute.
Of course.
Okay.
Look, when I bought it, my son, who was 16 at the time, said, don't buy it, Elon's a douche. And I said, he's just a businessman with a lot of good ideas. I have since apologized to my son. And to make it up to him, I bought him a Tesla.
That was Offendometer. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time for Meet in the Middle, where we find common ground between two people who would never be caught hanging out. Okay, on one side, you have Bill Hader, old Chucky Schumer, Tim McGraw, and Whoopi Goldberg. On the other side, Adam Scott, Elvis Presley, Margaret Cho, and Martha Stewart. First up, we have I'm Your Usher Man. Which two of these people once worked as movie theater ushers?
Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis sounds right. And then Whoopi or Chuck, right?
Chuck Schumer's never held a job outside of politics.
All right.
Margaret Cho. Okay. Just because I love her.
Yeah.
She's eccentric. Like, movie theater's very shut your ass up.
Yeah, how about Adam Scott?
Okay, still wrong. Okay. The answer, Bill Hader and Elvis Presley both worked as movie theater ushers. Elvis was a theater usher in Memphis. It was a job he stole from a black man, but that's not true. That's not true. But he was a movie usher, and Bill Hader was an usher in the late 90s where he got fired for spoiling the end of Titanic for an audience. Bonus question, since we're talking Titanic. Could Jack have fit on that stupid-ass board?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't matter what we think. We have the research of Oscar-winning director James Cameron to give us the real answer.
I'm going to recreate Jack and Rose on the raft in a controlled laboratory setting.
They did manage to find a stable position, took a little bit of trying, where their upper bodies were out of the water, both of them. And that's when it got interesting. Final verdict, Jack might have lived, but there's a lot of variables.
First of all, why did we need a Nat Geo documentary? Imagine that's how you die in a James Cameron Nat Geo reenactment. Freezing from hypothermia. Next up, we've got breed, follow, or get out of the way. Which two of these people had dogs win Best of Breed at the Westminster Dog Show?
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah, that's gotta be, right?
And Whoopi Goldberg.
And I would say Tim McGraw.
Answer, Tim McGraw and Martha Stewart.
Here we go.
Both people had dogs win Best of Breed at the Westminster Dog Show. McGraw's dog, Lepshy, a Bracco Italiano, won Best of Breed in 2023. And in 2012, one of the winners was Martha Stewart's Chow Chow, named Genghis Khan. But Martha and Tim are the only celebrities whose dogs have competed in the Westminster Dog Show. This dandy Dinmont Terrier named Harry won Best of Breed in 2007. Who was his famous owner? And here's a hint. He's one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Thank you, Roy. And I just want to say,
The owner of this dog was Bill Cosby.
That poor dog was drugged to do that.
I was gonna say.
And he's back. You clawed and clawed and clawed. And you're back at zero, Congressman. All right, let's do butt dial.
Oh.
And other parts. Which two of these people worked as phone sex operators?
Oh, well, Margaret.
Whoopi got that voice.
She gonna call him and she gonna say, what are you wearing? That's very good.
Thank you.
Do me a favor, Joyelle, keep going.
No, don't.
Whoopi Goldberg and Margaret Cho both worked as phone sex operators. Whoopi revealed to her View co-host that she worked on a phone sex line when she was young, and Margaret Cho says that when she did phone sex for this company, she was promoted faster because she sounded white. I didn't even, like, you know how you, like, just discover a new racism? Like, really, that's another one. We didn't get to Adam Scott and Chuck Schumer, but they're both fathers of two, and right now they're both mostly known for completely forgetting they have a day job. More after the break. Welcome back. It's time now for Odd One Out. Teams, here's how it works. I'm going to show everybody 4 pictures, and you'll have to guess which one sticks out like Pete Hegseth at a Take Back the Night rally. Here's your first group of 4. We have Tilda Swinton, Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney, and Harry Styles. Who is the odd one out?
3 of them have acted in a movie together.
What movie was Tilda Swinton?
Michael Clayton.
Wait, Mark Wahlberg was in Michael Clayton?
Yep.
I like that answer. Very good.
Okay, over here.
Was Mark Wahlberg in a boy band?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Harry Styles was in a boy band.
Yes.
Oh. Was one of these people in a boy band? It couldn't be. It could be Tilda Swinton.
Tilda.
That's our
androgynous.
answer. It's
Tilda.
unusual, yes. Unorthodox also, but it's what we have.
So George Clooney is the odd one out.
The odd one out is George Clooney. Not for that shit. Tilda Swinton, Mark Wahlberg, and Harry Styles all have at least one extra nipple, while George Clooney, our old loving Batman, only has 2 nipples that never recovered from fighting Mr. Freeze. Tilda Swinton has a 3rd nipple she calls her, quote, witch's mark. Mark Wahlberg has an additional infant's nipple below his adult-sized nipple. Let's get a picture of that. There's that 3rd baby nip. Oh. Is that a nipple or is that melanoma? Like, I'm not trying to wish nothing on my man, but like, how low is a nipple before it's still a nipple? Like, if it's that far down, is that still nipple? Let's show him Harry Styles' 2 sets of nipples. Yeah. Oh. For a grand total of 4 nipples. 4 nipples, and they all point in one direction. According to science, up to 6% of people are born with bonus nipples of various sizes and configurations, so it's not all that rare. Scientific literature on extra nipples mentions, quote, a famous case from 1827 involving a French woman who had a functioning breast on her left thigh and nursed her 5 children using all 3 breasts. Could have used that lady at the end of Grapes of Wrath. Yeah. Let RFK Jr., you let him keep running stuff. That's how we're gonna get our milk. That was Odd One Out. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are gonna play a game. It's called Who Said It? I'll give you a quote and you tell me if it came from someone who's in the news or a character from The Office. Here's the quote. Yesterday was incredibly emotional for me. I honestly can say that I felt more like a female than I think I ever have or ever will.
This is really hard.
That seems like something J.D. Vance would have said in his before times.
Just to be contrary, we're going to go with Dwight Schrute.
It is a quote from Vice President J.D. Vance. Vance wrote in his 2005 blog, which he later described as, quote, like a diary, only far more masculine. What he means by that is that he's never blogged without a full boner. Here's the quote. Ultimatums are key. Who said that? Kelly Kapoor or Stephen Miller?
We're going to go with Stephen Miller.
I want to go with Stephen Miller because I feel like he said it and he screamed it at a woman.
He screamed it at a woman.
This is a quote from Kelly Kapoor, who famously said, quote, ultimatums are key. Basically, nobody does anything for me unless I threaten to kill myself. That's all the time we have for Who Said It. We cut now to live footage of the Doge takeover at the Pentagon.
You're pre-fired. And when I'm promoted, you'll be full fired.
I want to thank our guests, Joyelle Nicole Johnson and Congressman Mike Lawler, and of course our team captains, Amber Ruffin and Michael Ian Black. Before we sign off, here are a few more stories we're watching. Family realizes dad ordered calamari only for himself. Grandpa listens to the 20-minute description of a 30-second TikTok. The left comes up with their response to the Elon salute. I'm Roy Wood Jr., and I'll see you all next week for another episode of Have I Got News for You? And remember, there's still two people stranded in space.